Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Golden Bachelor Mel Owens says he's more than his way out of bounds comments. Los Angeles former NFL star Mel Owens set the wrong kind of Bachelor Nation record by stepping into Golden Bachelor controversy 3 months before the senior edition of ABC's reality dating show even started. Owens, 66, has apologized repeatedly for vowing on the University of Michigan's college football podcast that he would cut any woman older than 60, calling his comments way out of bounds and a mistake. He apologizes again to the 23 contestants ages 58 to 77 arriving to Bachelor Mansion in the September 24 Golden Bachelor Premiere 8 ET Point. The handsome, silver-haired sports lawyer and divorced father of 2 hopes viewers forgive and watch the ride. "I'd say tune in, give me a second chance," Owens tells USA Today. "Make your own evaluation. What we know about the new Golden Bachelor beyond his opening fumble, the Golden Bachelor travels back to Owens' Detroit hometown, where his father, Walter Owens, played pro baseball for the Detroit Stars of the Negro American League and coached high school baseball. A standout football star at the University of Michigan, the younger Owens was drafted in the first round by his childhood favorite team the Los Angeles Rams, where he played for 9 seasons and mustered 26.5 sacks. The Rams and football play huge roles in his character even today. You can't detach University of Michigan and the LA Rams from anything," says Owens. "Football is regimented. You have to be a team player, show up on time, work hard. All these things carry over." After Owens retired in 1989, he went back to law school to become a sports lawyer. Owens has 2 grown sons, Lucas, 20, and Andre, 18, from his 18-year marriage. "They've been living primarily with me, and I cherish that great father-son relationship," Owens says. "Every morning I get to be with them before they go to school." The boys have supported him on his Golden Bachelor quest, and helped usher their social media clueless dad into the Instagram world. "They got me on TikTok, and then on Instagram. I didn't know how to do all of those things," Owens says. "My boys were helping me. 2 months ago, I had 4 followers. I think I have more than 4 now." The second chance Golden Bachelor has acquitted himself well since the scandal. Owens says he's used to taking hits from his football days. "I was criticized all the time, not only by fans but by coaches and teammates," says Owens. "You take it because it's your job." He doesn't search out the boo-birds online. "I definitely don't dig into the comments in my social media," Owens says. Owens married Fabiana Pimentel in 2002 and they had 2 sons. Divorce proceedings began in 2020 and were finalized in 2024. "It was a long marriage, and it just didn't work out," he says. "I still wish her well. And I love being married." The self-described romantic won't be tied to one perfect date. "I like to travel, that can be a perfect date," Owens says. "Then there's just being at home, relaxing, maybe watching TV or reading or doing nothing. There are a lot of perfect moments. It's what mood that strikes." First Golden Bachelor Gary Turner shed tears in most every episode. But don't expect waterworks from Owens. "I'm not necessarily a crier, but I'm emotional," he says. "But crying is a human emotion. It's cathartic. It happens. It's good thing." Owens says he'd had extrasensory perception (ESP) since childhood. "It's an exchange of energy," he says. "There's electromagnetic energy being exchanged all over, and if you're in tune with it, you can feel it." This comes in handy in his Golden Bachelor quest. When someone walks into the room, you look at them and make an evaluation, Owens says. "I've learned to trust the intuition," which is your extrasensory perception. You have a better understanding of human nature. Not necessarily, but definitely new love. Love is a good thing, it fills your heart, it makes you feel better, and it gives you a purpose, Owens says. I liked being in love. That's the ultimate goal. Unsurprisingly, Owens isn't wearing a wedding band, or any jewelry, and gives no clue about what went down while the dating show filmed. You're just going to have to watch the journey, he says. There's ups and downs, twists and turns. It's like, whoa, I even can't believe what just happened. This is an adventure. When ABC cast Mel Owens as the second ever Golden Bachelor, the network knew they were taking a gamble. After Gary Turner's soft-spoken, tear-filled debut season, viewers had settled into the idea of the show being a haven of gentle romance, silver-haired charm, and sentimental storylines. Owens, on the other hand, was a former football player turned insurance executive with a blunt streak that sometimes bordered on reckless. By week 3 of filming, the gossip blogs already had their headlines: Golden Bachelor Mel Owens goes too far with his jokes, Out of Bounds Bachelor, and did Mel just say that on national TV? It was, in many ways, the perfect storm. Owens made what he later called a clumsy remark at a cocktail party, something about a contestant's dance skills being better suited for senior shuffleboard than a tango, and the clip went viral. Fans didn't appreciate the off-the-cuff humor. Critics labeled it insensitive. And for a man who thought of himself as playful, suddenly he was painted as a grumpy, outdated bachelor who couldn't read the room. Now, months after the season wrapped, Owens is sitting down for interviews, determined to show he's more than his so-called way out of bounds comments. Mel Owens, the man beyond the quips. I'll tell you something straight, Owens says, leaning back in his chair with the relaxed posture of a man who spent decades in locker rooms. I've been called a lot of things in my life. Too honest. Too blunt. Too quick with a joke. But nobody who knows me would call me cruel. I care deeply about people. That's why I agreed to do this show in the first place. I was looking for love, not a microphone for controversy. He pauses, considering his words carefully this time. I'm not perfect. I'll never claim to be. But I also don't want to be remembered as just that guy who made a bad comment or two. I'm a father, a grandfather, a widower, a man who still believes in second chances. That's who I really am. Owens' candidness has long been both his strength and weakness. In college football, his straightforward communication won him teammates' trust. In business, his no-nonsense negotiation style closed deals. But in the polished, highly edited world of reality TV, nuance is easily lost. A raised eyebrow can be spliced next to a sigh, and suddenly you've got a villain arc. I wasn't playing a role, he insists. But I was also not controlling the edit. You watch 2 hours of TV, but we filmed 12 hours a day. People didn't see the moments I cried with the women about losing my wife, or the times I stayed up talking about books and music. They saw the sound bites. The way out of bounds moment. When asked directly about the infamous way out of bounds line, Owens shakes his head. It was at a group date. One of the ladies asked me how I thought I was doing so far, and I said, well, I probably already said something way out of bounds, but I'm trying to learn. I meant it as self-deprecating humor. I was owning up to the fact that sometimes my jokes don't land. But when it aired, it looked like I was brushing off accountability. That hurt. Owens goes on to explain that humor has always been his way of handling nerves. Look, put me on a football field and I can read a defense like a book. Put me in a room with 20 beautiful, smart women asking me to open up about my feelings on national television. I was sweating bullets. Sometimes my jokes were a shield. What viewers didn't see. Behind the scenes, Owens says, there were plenty of tender moments the cameras never highlighted. I helped one contestant FaceTime her granddaughter's birthday because she was worried about missing it. Another night, I sat with one of the ladies who just lost her brother and just held her hand while she cried. Those are the things I remember, not who got the first impression rose. His daughters, who were initially skeptical about him doing the show, remain his biggest champions. They told me, "Dad, you've been through hell losing Mom. You deserve happiness, even if people misunderstand you sometimes." That's the fuel that kept me going. Redemption or reinvention. Public opinion of Owens has slowly shifted. Some fans, after watching the full season, admitted he wasn't as harsh as early headlines suggested. Others appreciated his willingness to admit mistakes on camera. In one particularly moving episode, Owens apologized directly to a contestant, saying, "Sometimes my mouth gets ahead of my heart, but my heart is what I want you to see." That wasn't scripted, he emphasizes now. That was me being vulnerable. And I'll tell you what, vulnerability is harder for me than any football game I ever played. Owens has also taken steps to learn from the criticism. He's been working with a communications coach, focusing on active listening and thoughtful pauses. "I want to show that an old dog can learn new tricks. It's never too late to grow." Life after the Golden Bachelor. So, who is Mel Owens beyond the show? He describes himself as a man who loves early morning fishing trips, jazz records on vinyl, and the quiet satisfaction of cooking Sunday dinner for his family. He volunteers at a community center, teaching kids the basics of teamwork through flag football. He's even started writing a memoir not about reality TV, but about resilience. "I've lived enough life to know that love doesn't come in neat packages," he says. "Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's misunderstood, but it's always worth fighting for." And yes, he admits with a grin, he still makes jokes that occasionally miss the mark. "That's me. I won't apologize for having a sense of humor. But I will always apologize if my words hurt someone. There's a difference." More than his words. At the heart of Owens' story is a man wrestling with identity. Is he the blunt, sometimes awkward bachelor who stumbled over his phrasing, or is he the devoted father, the grieving husband, the hopeful romantic? "Maybe I'm both," he concludes. "We all say things we wish we could take back. But I'd like to believe that what defines us is not the worst thing we've said, but the best thing we've done. I hope people see that in me." Owens' journey on the Golden Bachelor may be over, but his story clearly isn't. He's more than his out-of-bounds comments. He's a man still daring to love, still willing to grow, and still hoping that, this time around, America sees the full picture.